Good evening, everyone. So, my next topic of the next video is parental route of drug administration. Now, I'm going to discuss with you parental route of drug administration. And before I start my video on this, I want to request you if this video appears useful to you and it is helpful to you, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, that is Dr. Nitika Hans Pharmacology Discussion. Now, I'm going to discuss with you parental route of drug administration. Now, parental route. What is parental route? It is the when we give the drug in the form of injection, it reaches the body and it produces the quick action. It reaches the blood circulation, and the types are like intravenous, which is the injection is injected into the vein. Intramuscular in the muscle layer, we inject the injection in the muscle, and subcutaneous is in the subcutaneous tissue. We inject the injection. Intravenous, the angle is 20 to 25 degree, and intramuscular, the angle is 45 degree at which the injection is given. Sorry, intramuscular is 90 degree and subcutaneous is 45 degree. Indications is when oral dose is not possible, and in the case of emergency, in emergency conditions, when we want to have the quick action, we can give this parental route of a drug administration. And when oral route is not possible, like in unconscious patients, in uncooperative patients, in nauseating, vomiting patients, this is, and in irritant, when the irritant drugs are there to the gastric mucosa, or the drugs which are digested by digestive enzymes, so in those cases we can give the parental route of administration. Advantages is of the parental route is it has the rapid onset, and irritant drugs which are irritant to gastric mucosa, they can be given by this route. In unconscious, vomiting, diarrhea patients, we can give parental route of administration, intravenous, intramuscular, and subcutaneous. And towards the first pass effect, that is, first pass metabolism is avoided. The drug does not reach the GIT where it is absorbed into the liver, and it does not travels to the liver. It reaches the systemic circulation directly, so there is no metabolism by the liver, so first pass effect is avoided. Bioavailability with intravenous is 100%, in subcutaneous is 70 to 80%, and in intramuscular is also 60 to 70%. So the bioavailability is more with intravenous, but it is more probably within the oral in all the three cases. This advantage is that this route of administration, as injection is there, needle syringe technique is there. So this injection, this route of administration is painful and inconvenient. Means self-medication is not possible. It is inconvenient because the self-medication in this case is not possible. We require the expertise to the for the injection of intravenous, intramuscular, and subcutaneous injection. Except in chronic diseases like diabetes mellitus, the subcutaneous injection of insulin can be given in the abdomen even by the patient or by his relative. In asthma, there are various meter dose inhalers, or there can be intravenous injection, intramuscular injection. Aseptic precautions required because intramuscular injection can lead to abscess formation. So aseptic precautions are required, means sepsis should not be there. The chances of action, risk of infection should be avoided. Expensive. This parental route of drug administration is very expensive, and drug must be sterile as it directly goes into the circulation. So the drug must be sterile. It should be aseptic and it should be sterile as the drug directly goes into the circulation. Intravenous route advantages is that it is having the rapid onset of drug action. It has 100% bioavailability and it is preferred in emergency. Drugs irritant to gut tissue and which are destroyed by liver enzymes can be given. And very large volume of drugs can be given by this route by the intravenous infusion or by the drip, IV drip. Drugs with short half-life can be infused continuously to maintain the therapeutic effect. With short half-life, the action stops very fastly in a short time. We can give the drug continuously so the therapeutic effect can be maintained with the drugs with short half-life. Precautions is it should not extravasate to surrounding tissues, otherwise necrosis can occur in the intravenous injection. Intravenous is the slow, rapid IV and IV infusion or drip. Slow is the myocardium directly we inject in case of arrhythmias, and calcium gluconate can be given. Aminophylline in the treatment of bronchial asthma, which is a phosphodiesterase inhibitor. Pentothal IV slow can be given. Rapid increase in volume, transfusion of blood and glucose and normal saline can be given. In case of blood loss or in any dehydration, we can give the drugs normal saline glucose. In IV infusion drip, prolonged and uniform effect required, and noradrenaline in glucose saline for treatment of hypertension can be given. Disadvantages is that this route of administration, that is intravenous route of administration, is very unsafe as it is a drug is directly poured into the systemic circulation. Drug leakage during administration can occur, so sloughing and necrosis to the surrounding tissues can occur, and thrombophlebitis can occur when there is irritation of the vein. And drugs in solution form can be injected with the intravenous route, but not in suspension or oily form, and possible only when veins are patent. In peripheral circular failure, circulatory failure or shock, the veins collapse, so intravenous injection cannot be given. No retreat if toxicity occurs. Drug causing hemolysis not to be given intravenously. Intramuscular drug is injected deep into the skeletal muscle, and the muscles for this are gluteal, deltoid, triceps, rectus femoris. Can be used for drugs which are irritant to subcutaneous tissue. Now, it can be used for drugs which are irritant to subcutaneous tissue like vitamin B complex, iron. We can give them by intramuscular injection, which is given at the angle of 90 degrees. Drugs given can be aqueous solution form like crystalline penicillin can be given. Benzothine penicillin can be given in suspension form. Oil or depot form is estradiol and medroxyprogesterone acetate. Injection can be given. Their action lasts for several weeks. Onset of action is slow but prolonged. Oil-based delays the absorption but prolongs the action. Means oil-based will be absorption will be delayed, but action will be prolonged. And volume is less than 10 ml can be given, and by giving the heat application, rubbing and massage of area, absorption can be increased as they cause vasodilatation. And disadvantages is there can be pain at the injection site, abscess formation can occur, self-medication is not possible with intramuscular injection, accidental injury to nerve can occur, inadvertent injection into underlying artery vein, serious consequences. There can be injection into the underlying artery or vein which can lead to serious consequences. Subcutaneous is injection given at the angle of 45 degrees. Dose is half of the oral dose, and it is injected by this hypodermic needle skin in the subcutaneous tissue. And the volume is less than equal to 2 ml. Prompt action will be there, and it is not for the irritant drugs. Subcutaneous, the drugs can be in the aqueous form like morphine sulfate, atropine sulfate, adrenaline suspension, protamine, zinc, insulin. Insulin can be given. Solid pellet implanted subcutaneously. Solid pellets can be implanted subcutaneously, so they will produce, they absorb slowly over the months. Prolonged effect. Example, testosterone pellets. Means they are absorbed over the months. Slowly, the drug is released when this is implanted. Solid pellet, testosterone pellets are implanted, and they will have a prolonged effect. Advantages is mainly for local anesthesia. These can be for the local anesthesia, and these can be given with vasoconstrictors. They have the prolonged local anesthetic action. Less dose of local anesthetic can be given, and less toxicity can occur. It's the reliable route. Self-medication possible in case of insulin. Disadvantages is poor absorption, especially in peripheral circulatory failure. There can be poor absorption, especially in peripheral circulatory failure, and slow absorption. Repeated injection at one side can cause lipoatrophy, that is atrophy of the fatty tissue. The size of the tissue gets decreased, and erratic absorption can occur in case of insulin. Irregular absorption can occur. The special subcutaneous forms are dermojet and pellet implantation, and there is no needle is required for dermojet. High velocity jet of drug solution projected from a microfine orifice with a gun-like implant. This gun is injected into the drug solution is injected into the superficial layers, and like the gun, and through the microfine orifice, and it gets deposited in the subcutaneous tissue. It is painless method and suitable for mass inoculation. Pellet implantation, solid pellets can be subcutaneously injected with the help of trocar and cannula, and there will be sustained release of the drug over weeks and months. Like deoxycorticosterone acetate and testosterone can be given as the solid pellets. C-elastics, these are also the special subcutaneous forms. These can be biodegradable or non-biodegradable. Biodegradable is there is no removal required, and non-biodegradable is removal is required. These are the drug package packed in tubes made of suitable material implanted under the skin. Slow and uniform release of drug over months provide constant blood levels. And example is hormones and contraceptives. Means these drug packed in tubes can have a slow and sustained release, uniform release of the drug, and it can act for a longer period of time. Intradermal is the drug is injected at the angle of 10 to 15 degree, and it is injected into the dermis of the skin, and there will be bleb formation. It can be in the case of BCG vaccine for the prevention of tuberculosis, and sensitivity testing of the drugs. There will be, after injection, there can be scarring and multiple puncture of the epidermis through a drop of the drug is done. And this route is employed for specific purpose only. Bleb formation can occur, drug sensitivity testing, and BCG vaccination. Intra-arterial route is drug injected directly into the arterial blood, employed for treatment of certain localized diseases. Like vasodilators can be injected intra-arterially in case of peripheral vascular disease. We can give when there is a vasoconstriction of the arteries of the periphery, like like Raynaud's phenomena, Berger's disease. So vasodilators can be given intra-arterially, and anti-cancer drugs can be given in the intrafemoral or in brachial artery to treat local cancer of the limb, and may also be employed for diagnostic purposes like angiography. We can give intra-arterial injection for angiography, and in the acute coronary thrombosis, intra-arterial thrombolytic agents, corticosteroids, and antibiotics can be given. Disadvantages: greater expertise is required and aseptic conditions are required. Intraperitoneal is the route in which the injection is injected into the peritoneal cavity. Because of risk of infections and adhesion formation, this route is not applied these days, and employed when veins are not available for IV injection in infants, example glucose and saline. Affords rapid absorption. In the interperitoneal route, there is rapid absorption. Comparatively large volume of fluids may be given. In experimental animals, this route is commonly employed in dogs for the pentobarbital sodium with 35 milligram per kg of body weight given intraperitoneally to anesthetize the dogs. Means in dogs BP, we can anesthetize the dog by giving pentobarbital sodium intraperitoneally, and for rabies injection for peritoneal dialysis. Intrapleural is in the pleural cavity, the drug is injected as the local action, and pus is drained out in case of empyema, and an antibiotic is injected intrapleurally. Intracardiac route is the injection is given in the by the long needle in the left intercostal space close to sternum, and this is implied during emergencies when there is cardiac arrest, maybe due to drowning, electrocution due to anesthetic accidents. Means there can be cardiac arrest due to drowning or electrocution. So we can give the intracardiac injection in the fourth intercostal space close to the sternum in the left side. Adrenaline is the cardiac stimulant which can be given to the heart as the intracardiac injection in case of cardiac arrest or heart block. Intrathecal injection is given in the L2, L3 lumbar vertebrae in the interspinal spaces into the spinal cord. Certain drugs do not cross the blood-brain barrier. So in case of meningitis or encephalitis, drugs are given intrathecally. In some drugs, they do not cross the blood-brain barrier. So we can give the drugs intrathecally in case of meningitis or encephalitis. Example, antifungals, anti-cancers. These drugs can be given intrathecally. And the production of spinal anesthesia is dependent upon the intrathecal injection of spinal anesthetic into the subarachnoid space. We can also give the spinal anesthesia with this injection in the intrathecal of the lignocaine, and also employed for diagnostic purposes like myelography. When we have to diagnose the myelography we have to do, we can give the intrathecal or intraspinal injection. Painful, risky expertise is required for it. Subconjunctival injection is given into the conjunctiva for local effects like antibiotics and corticosteroids. Intramedullary injection is given in the bone marrow, occasionally used for blood transfusion when veins are not available. And the bone marrow injection gives almost immediate response. And in adults, sternal cavity is used, and in children, femur can be used. In adults, sternal cavity is used as the bone marrow injection for the immediate response and for the blood transfusion. And in the children, femur is used. Advantages, there's no advantage of the other routes, and it can cause osteomyelitis if complete asepsis is not maintained. Means it can lead to osteomyelitis, that is infection of the osteocytes, that is the cells of the bone, and there can be infection and inflammation of osteomyelitis can occur bone, and then asepsis is not maintained. Advantages, it is disadvantages, it is a risky, painful, strict aseptic conditions are required, and skill is needed for intramedullary injection. Intra-articular, the injection is given into the joint in case of rheumatoid arthritis to control the pain. In the synovial cavity, the injection can be given. Hydrocorticosterone acetate or gold chloride is injected intra-articularly. And disadvantage is it is painful procedure, strict aseptic conditions required to avoid introduction of infection. And repeated injections into the joint can further damage the joint. Means if we give the repeated injection into the joint, that can lead to other more damaging of the joint. Thank you. That's all. If you have understood my video and if it is helpful, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. That is Dr. Nitika Hans Pharmacology. Thank you. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Be safe. Thank you.